You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Things are about to heat up for Dry Cold Productions. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder opens tonight at the Manitoba Theatre for Young People. And to hear more about it, I'm joined by company's co-founder, Donna Fletcher, and director Erin McGrath. Hello to you both.
Hi.
Well,
good morning.
It's great to see you both. Donna, let me start with you. Before we get to this actual production, Dry Cold, marking a big anniversary in belated fashion, as has become the norm these days. Founded back in 2001, this makes your 20th anniversary season. Congrats.
Thank you. It was supposed to be the spring of the dreaded pandemic start. And so we've just delayed it for 2 years. And so now we've gotten to celebrate our anniversary for 2 years. So this is our 20th production. It's pretty exciting. And what a fabulous show to come back with.
Yeah, an extended celebration, most deserved. And just before we get to the show and get to Erin, one thing that I'm curious about, again, founded back in 2001, I'm really curious, what was missing in the Winnipeg theater scene back then when you co-founded Dry Cold alongside Reed Harrison?
At that point, the large theaters were doing really big, super traditional, golden age musicals primarily. There wasn't a lot of production happening of pieces that were basically past about 1965. And so we really, I guess, birthed this idea because we wanted to do a bunch of Sondheim musicals. And to that point, only Company had been done at MTC. And so we started with a little night music. And then from there, we produced also Into the Woods. And we've since done Company and our dream show, Sweeney Todd. And that's how it first began. Also in that time, a lot of local actors were not being seen on our stages. And as well, there was not a lot of multidisciplinary mixing. So when we created the company, we made our mandate to hire and foster the talent of local people, primarily and almost exclusively, as well as to mix up our wonderful performers from the opera world, from the musical theater world, from the straight theater world. So in Dry Cold's history, we've had a lot of opera singers who've made their musical theater debut with us, many actors who've never done a musical before and with, fear and trepidation stepped on our stage and discovered they loved it. And that's been a big part of what the birth of this company was.
The company's motto, where music meets theater, and that's exactly what you've done over these 2 decades. Erin, when did you first get involved with Dry Cold? Tell us about your relationship with the company.
Well, I've known Donna for quite a while. When I first moved to Winnipeg back in 2005, I moved here and was working primarily as a performer. So Donna and I go back to performing together. So I would say my relationship with Dry Cold started through my friendship with Donna. And I've, over the last few years, have been transitioning more into directing. And am so honored and grateful to Donna that she's put the trust in me to direct this show, which I'm so excited about. It's just been so joyful and wonderful. And a number of years ago, I actually performed with Dry Cold in their production of Bridges of Madison County. So Dry Cold really does sort of foster such a rounded aspect of our careers here in Winnipeg.
Now you're joining us from the green room at the theater, which is very, very exciting. And it is indeed a green wall that you have behind you, because the green room isn't always green. So it's nice that things are like that at MTYP. Can you tell us a little bit about this show? I remember when A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder opened on Broadway back in 2013. It also, the next year, I think it won 4 Tonys, something like that. Tell us a little bit about this show.
It's, I was looking at a quote that somebody said about it in New York when it came out that said, I think it said something like, it's morbidly hilarious. And I think that is like a really wonderful description of it. It takes place between 1907 and 1909. And we are really kind of exploding the possibilities in terms of playing around with style and old-timey theater magic. And we're not locked into what is 100% accurate in 1907 and 1909, because the show just lends itself to so much joy and comedic delight. So we're looking at things like I wanted to play around with old time technology. So instead of going really, really advanced in terms of really modern projections. We talked a lot about, we've got some shadow puppets going on and things that look more like sketches and hand-drawn. We have an amazing young new designer who's been apprenticing with our designer who has done these incredible sketches for these project backgrounds. We don't have any traditionally recorded sound that you might normally hear when you came to the theater. We're building all our sound effects right on the stage. So it's just kind of opened the door to imagination and play. And for me personally, coming back from the pandemic, it was really important that we all walk into the space and just have fun. You know, all the performers, like everybody across the board, we're all burnt out, we're all tired, and their experience really mattered to me too. So we kind of just said, you know, let's just play and laugh. And we have laughed a lot. So I really hope that people come and just are able to do that too. It's very silly. It's very, very silly.
You know, Donna, we were just listening to Aaron tell us about how silly this production is, how much joy it has brought to the company. I'm curious, what made you want to bring A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder to the Winnipeg audience? Why was this the way to return for you and Dry Cold?
I think this show really helps us to return back to the roots of what we created the company for. There are roles for everybody, from our operatic diva who plays the role of Phoebe and sings coloratura for days, which is glorious and hysterical all at once, you know, to the femme fatale who sings in a more, you know, I would say golden age, Lerner Lowe, Cole Porter kind of way, to the good old G&S modeled patter song. And the one actor plays 8 of the family members who all meet their demise in mysterious and interesting ways. And he sings in all of these wonderful music hall styles, but it's a role normally inhabited by an actor. And so that's what we've done. We've been able to, again, open our door to our musical theater people, our people more from the acting side, and bring in a new wonderful operatic up-and-comer. It's been a real delight to sort of explore that. And as Aaron said, the fun of that has been just delicious. And the book is very clever. Our lead actor, Justin Stadnick, who's playing Monty, the protagonist in all of this, he's just so brilliant to watch. His ability to play with the text and inhabit that old Victorian music hall style has just been a delight.
Do you mind dropping a few more names? Who else is involved in this production?
Well, Kevin Clausen plays the entire Dicewith family. Sarah Luby plays Sabella, his true love. Sydney Clark plays Phoebe, the woman he finds out he's related to and later marries. And then the cast is rounded out by Tom Sawyer, Sam Plett, James Magnus Johnston, Brenda Gorlick, a longtime professional in our city, a newcomer, Keely McPeak and Emily Meadows, as well as Tracy Penner. And I think I haven't missed anyone. And of course, our music director, the wonderful Rachel Cameron, who has worked with us on multiple occasions.
Yeah, some very familiar names in there for sure. And it'll be so nice to see these faces in person again after what has, again, felt like such a long time. I've been saying it for the last, 6 months now as we've started to reemerge, but it doesn't get old. I mean, it's been 3 years since Dry Cold took the stage. So what an opportunity to come back, to take MTYP, the show running today through Sunday. Aaron, if anyone's sitting listening to the radio and they're thinking to themselves, Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, and they just need that little nudge to come down to the theater, what would you say to them? What's the little sell?
I think it's impossible not to sit in the theater and just laugh. And I know, like, the tension and the stress and the burnout that we all feel right now, you can genuinely just sit back and watch these incredibly talented performers just tear it up and do what they do best, but also just laugh. There's nothing, it doesn't, you don't walk out feeling stressed, and it just is pure joy. Morbid, but joyful.
What a sell. Morbid joy at MTY. Yeah, MTYP. I mean, what more do you need to hear? But like you say, that escape that theater offers us, and what a performance this will be. Aaron, Donna, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
It's such a pleasure, Simon. Thank you.